Okay, next one up is Dr. Jen O'Sullivan. I'm sure you guys know this beautiful woman. She's incredible. And just like so many of the physicians that we get to see, these people are transforming lives. All of these physicians, they are so powerful, so incredibly passionate about people and about healing and the health of the world that we just are so honored for you to be here, Dr. Jen O'Sullivan. She's a board certified naturopathic practitioner, and she too is in California. And I think she's biking those hills out there too, like Dr. Tony. I know that about you. You're getting in super shape. So listen, you've attracted a lot of people to wear this technology. I mean, thousands of people, right? So what is the biggest misconception people have about it when they see this technology? Um, what are they not getting? Like, what are they misunderstanding when you show it to them?
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me, by the way. And I'm not a medical doctor, so I always say I'm not a physician, but I'm a naturopathic practitioner. And that's just a distinction because they're completely different fields. But I work with people naturally. And so when this came into play, this was like, wait a minute, this is such a simple, stupid sticker, right? And then when you understand what it is, you're like, oh, this isn't stupid at all. And the technology is not simple at all. It's simple to use. But I feel like the misconception people have is like, is that like, well, it's just stupid. It's a dumb little sticker. How can that possibly be doing what you guys are saying this thing does? And I'm like, just put it on, right? And so, yes, like people think it's magic. It's not magic, but it sort of is. It's really your body is the blessing, right? Like God designed your body to do things, and this is the signal. Like this little guy is the signal to help your body it tells your body basically to combine GHKCU, and that's magical, right? And that's what's proving phenomenal. But I think that misconception is, there's a lot, but I would say one of my number one things is like the really is that's it, that's all it is. So yeah, the stupid little sticker is the phenomenal little sticker. So very good.
Amen. Amen. I love it. And I love how Dr. Tony said it's the cheater sticker,
Yeah.
the cheater patch, right? Because it's doing all this phenomenal stuff that it's hard to just even vocalize for the average person because it's just so phenomenal, right? I mean, and that's why these types of panels and people like you, Dr. Jen, are just so powerful in the field because we need your wisdom and your direction and guidance because so many people are hungry for that knowledge, right?
So, Dr. Jen, hey, good to see you. You're looking fit. I love that you're wearing the patches. Everybody on these calls is the real deal. We just really appreciate that. It's great to see you, Dr. Jen. So, one of the things when you're talking to a lot of people, whether it be in your practice or outside the walls, is, you're introducing LifeWave X39 to people. What would you say, Dr. Jen, are some of the most common mistakes that people make when they're first starting wearing the patches? And if you could give them advice, if you could help all of us here, this is a team, what advice would you give people to get off on the right foot, to get started properly?
I give people the same advice everywhere. Actually, one of the main pieces of advice I learned from Renita back like when we all first started, and she was like, electrolytes. And,
Yeah.
I think you guys even like funded everybody's electrolytes at the This Is It convention. And so I went back there and I grabbed them and I'm like, I know electrolytes, but I mean, are they that important to this technology? And yes, they are. And that is a huge mistake. And I tell people before they get their patches, you need to start drinking water and you need to add electrolytes that are actually salt electrolytes. And like you guys from Florida, so many of you guys have enough sodium because you're in the ocean all the time. Same with us in California. But what you want to understand is that one of the biggest problems is that people either have like a high blood pressure spike because their potassium is off. They're eating
So
so many
low. Yeah.
processed foods, processed carbohydrates, garbage, and their potassium to sodium to magnesium ratios are off. So even just getting some extra potassium, like coconut water, some bananas, whatever, but they need that ratio. So drinking water more appropriately. So my two biggest things would be drink water about 4 to 5 ounces every 30 minutes, not guzzling a ton of water all at once. It's 4 to 5 ounces every 30 minutes. So start getting used to sipping your water. And then the other one is to get some electrolytes in and start that process before you start patching.
Yeah, I love that. I just want to add on this because, I'm passionate about electrolytes. Been screaming this message for a long time, but I want people to understand intracellular hydration versus the water sitting outside of the cell. And I think of it as a visual, like a box of rocks. And if you dumped a cup of water through the box of rocks and they ran through the bottom, that's you running to the bathroom every time you drink water. So if you're having to run to the bathroom every time you drink water, that tells me the water is not getting into the intracellular hydration where it can actually do its work and communicate with the other cells. So how do you open the gate to get the water in the cell, the salt, the potassium, all the things that Dr. Jen is saying. So thank you so for eloquently saying it. So again, if you're running to the water after you drink running to the potty after you drink a glass of water, you need to open the gate, boys. So get the salt, get the potassium in there. We love that.
That's good. Really smart
Yep.
Observation. A lot of people talk about hydration, but if the cells aren't pulling that water into the cells, right, you don't get that cellular communication. So we've noticed that too,
Yep.
Dr. Jen. So thanks for touching on that. Hey, so next question: as a board certified naturopathic practitioner, how do you implement X39 in your practice? And then, of course, because it's human nature, you're going to come across people that say, I don't want to use it. So how do you implement your practice for people that are interested? And then how do you deal with people that are saying, I don't want to do it?
That's a great question. In the beginning, I was like, okay, I have all of these clients, and if you are not interested in doing this, I don't want to work with you anymore. That created some backlash because
Yep.
part of it is like I was seeing we do different modalities, right? Of course, I implement many different healing modalities within my practice, but what I was seeing was my clients that started early adopters, right? They were like, okay, whatever you say, I'll do it. And they started using X39. I was seeing the modalities I work with them hold longer, last better. They were having better results with the things we were working with them on. And that was fascinating to me to see over and over again, like 6,500 people. And to see, okay, well, who adopted that? It was close to 1,400 people that were like, okay, let's go. And what I think is interesting to me about that was those people who didn't, now, like 3.5 years later, I'm starting to see those people say, well, I decided no, and I am saying yes now. Like, so
Yeah.
they've waited for 3.5 years, and I think that's a huge
Yeah.
mistake too, is like, don't wait. And so part of it for my practice is, yes, of course, I offer different modalities and different devices and different services and different things that I do within my practice. But it's like, I need you to also do this because it's simple, but it's gonna make the biggest impact. So for sure.
Amen.
I love that. I feel like one of the common themes that we're hearing, of course, from Dr. Kathleen, Dr. Tony, Dr. Lonnie, and now Dr. Jen is, you're looking for results for your patients. You're looking for solutions. And then, as much experience and education as you have, you're humble, you're open-minded,
Yeah, love
and
that.
you're just looking for the best interests of your patients. So congratulations on being a great practitioner
I love
in that
that.
aspect. So
Okay, I got another question, and this is going to put everybody on the edge of their seats, but compliance is always a really important topic here with LifeWave. We know this, right? Because we're sharing this incredible wellness technology and miracles are happening, but we've got to be very mindful of how we so eloquently talk about those miracles, right? Because we don't treat, cure, prevent disease. So what's the biggest mistake people make when talking about the patches? And in addition to that, how can they share them in a way that's super effective and wants people to put them on, but yet compliant?
Sure. And this is tough because, we don't want to say that we're trying to take your amendment rights away and all that. It's part of this goes back to practicing medicine without a license. So even like I have a license. I'm an ecclesiastic holistic practitioner with a full-on license, and that you need in the state of California as a naturopath. California is like a totally different area of air, place. And so part of that is we have to understand the language, we have to understand the government regulations. But even medical doctors, even if I was an MD, I would still be out of lane if I came to a customer or a client or a patient with advice that was non-compliant about these patches. And the reason for that is the FDA dictates what you can and can't say based on a topical thing. Even though phototherapy has been studied all over the place, they consider this topical. So here in the United States, like you can't claim what's called a system function change. So that's why it gets a little bit sticky and why, we've gotten legal compliant, legally available to say one specific thing. And this is in our 2-minute video in LifeWave that we have a device, a patch that uses phototherapy, that uses light to increase GHKCU. That is the claim that we have legally allowed to say, which is technically a system function change, right? Because it's an internal peptide that this is increasing. But part of the thing is the language is changing. All of the things we just have to remember is like when you're sharing stories one-on-one with people, you just let them know, like, this was my experience. I'm not a medical practitioner. I am not trying to tell you this is what's going to happen for you. It's like
Right.
saving yourself. And what I mean by that is this is so important if you guys would hear me. It's not about you can't say something. It's that you're selling something that is has regulations, right? And the
Right.
company, when they come to you and say, hey, you guys need to take this down, it's not like the principal of the school coming and whapping you on the wrist, right? It's not like that. They're actually trying to protect you. And what they're trying to protect you from is you going to jail or you getting a massive fine from the FDA or the FTC. And it's happened in our industry all over the place. So I just encourage you
Right.
guys to know that our company loves you. They are trying to help protect you. And we want to educate the best. So just when you put stuff out, just think, am I making any claims here? Am I saying that this was something that did something for some health issue? So we look at it like a line. There's below the wellness line and above the wellness line. So if this supports skin health, that's above the wellness line. If this helps reduce acne, see, that's a below the wellness line statement. So you look at the terms you're using. This helps
Good.
inflammation is below the wellness line. If you say this supports the body's inflammatory response, that's actually above the wellness line. It's just learning to work within the language. So I just
Yeah.
encourage you guys to just realize that we all must be compliant, even the medical doctors. So,
100%. You know, a word that I like to use a lot is support.
mhm.
Support is a beautiful word that you can say supports inflammatory process, supports, that inflammatory response, right? Supports your muscle endurance and strength. Supports. A big word, and another word that was used earlier by Dr. Kathleen was seemingly. It seemingly did this for me, right? Because now you're not saying concrete. And I'm a believer, Dr. Jen, that we should quit saying the disease names now anyway, because I feel like they're word curses. It's kind of the
Yeah.
frequency I'm at in my life. Like we don't need to name the word curse again.
Identify.
Yeah, don't identify the word curse again and say it again. You've said it 18,000 times. Let's now speak health and do the things that are going to, like you said, keep us above that wellness line and pull us in that direction toward optimal health and healing and rejuvenation, instead of talking about the things that are below the wellness line anyway, because we're just done with that.
And unlike a drug, a drug needs to know the disease name, right? And like kind of matches and diagnoses.
But we're not.
And we're not a drug in any way,
Thank
right?
you.
And so the patch doesn't need to know the disease name, right? You just put it on. It's very simple. It's simple to implement.
Yeah.
It's
And
affordable.
just as another
Easy.
side note, so many people ask, like, will this work for fill in the blank issue? And I'm like, well, that's not the right question. It's going to work systemically all over your body. So I don't know where it's going to work for you. And how exciting is
Right.
that we're going to
Yeah.
see what happens for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then LifeWave has done a really good job also to be very professional and thorough in detail. So you can go to lifewave.com, practice going to your own website.
Right.
So lifewave.com/ whatever is the website that you created for yourself. You can scroll down to the bottom. You actually can click on Resource Compliance Center. There's a whole list of things that we can say on each individual patch, which includes health claims
That's a
and
big
business
deal.
financial
Most
claims.
of our team doesn't even know that exists, because it's not in your back office. It's just at lifewave.com at the very bottom. It's a compliance center. So you know exactly what you can say and not say, and it makes it really simple. But Dr. Jen, you are a blessing always. Your knowledge base is so vast, and we just appreciate your wisdom and your light. We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
We're
see you in
gonna
Orlando next month.
Orlando next month.
Unstoppable.
So we appreciate you. Everybody give it up for
Thanks for
Dr.
having me,
Jen
guys.
O'Sullivan. She's amazing.
Thanks, Dr. Jen. You're great. Appreciate you.
We love it. And guys.